Okay, first off, I know this book is being super hyped. I know everyone is giving it like a 5-star on Goodreads. I don't know why. Hi guys, what's up? It's Summer and welcome, or perhaps welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be kind of like a cumulative wrap up. So I'm going to start off with Dear Martin. Honestly, rereading this book kind of sorta, I was actually more like shocked really, because as soon as you like, first chapter of this book is just like action. Justyce gets pulled over by a police officer in a situation where he is honestly just trying to help, and the police officer is very harsh to him, and it really just like makes him realize the fact that even if you are a black male in America specifically, even if you're at the top of your class, even if you just apply to Yale, even if you're all A students, yes sir, no ma'am, even if you do have good male teachers in your life, if you have, you know, even if you have all of that, he's still black, and he can't like escape what's going to happen to him simply because he is black. He decides in a way to like help him, in a way to like vent. He writes these letters to like Martin Luther King, and I like it because he actually talks to Martin Luther King as if he's like a friend. So he writes to him and he's like, you know, I know that you've been through like all of this stuff. What can I do to help be more how you were, and peaceful, and not let this stuff get to me despite what's right in front of me and what is happening. A lot of stuff happens in this book that I'm just like, I don't even think I was ready for. Like, I had to like reread and be like, wait, what happened? I really like it. Tells so much in just like a short story. So the next book I read is Dear Justyce. Was not what I expected. Like, it really was not what I expected, but I thought it was really good. I didn't read them in the same day, but I did read them in the same week, I believe. I just love, like, she did her thing, right? This one is a little bit longer. It's about like almost 300 pages. So this one is about Quan. Quan is in jail currently. He starts to write these letters to Justyce. What I really liked about this is that even in like the author's note part, Nic talks about how she got a lot of feedback on Dear Martin and how she wanted to make a story that was targeted towards other types of black males. Although she said like people were saying that like not all kids were like Justyce, and like not all kids could relate to Justyce and all that. This one's about Quan, and this one's about Quan going through the hardships that he had to go through, and just kind of how he ended up in the situation of being in jail as he did. He has an experience with a cop at a very young age, and I like the fact that he struggles with a lot of stuff. He struggles with anxiety, he struggles with a lot, and I just like the fact that he felt like a real character. Like, I know people like Quan. I know Quans. You know what I mean? I gotta get ready for this one. Oh my gosh. So the next book I read is Grown. I really hate to compare it to like a R. Kelly retelling because of the fact that I did read the author's note. Okay, first off, I know this book is being super hyped. I know everyone is giving it like a 5-star on Goodreads. And listen, I just would like to say that Tiffany deserves her credit. But like, I don't know, I was in a complete struggle to give this a 4 or a 5 out of stars, because I'm not gonna lie, there's so much from this book that it's like still in my brain that I still think about. So that makes me want to give it a 5-star. Also, very great story. It's really nicely written. I mean, but there's just like a lot of, to me, there's like some holes in it. You know, there's some holes that just didn't add up to me. I just don't really hype up the parents as much as everyone else hypes up the parents. It really just emphasized the fact that, yes, a black woman and a white woman can be treated the same way. They can be abused the same way. But when a black woman says something, it's questionable and it's not believable. And do we trust it? Do we want to help her? But if a white woman says something, it's kind of like there's not that many questions asked. Like, we kind of just believe them. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I feel like it really gets into a lot of this, and even in the author's note she talks about the fact that just basically being a black woman in America, like, is your voice even heard? Next book we have is Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. But I would just like to talk about some of the stuff that I flagged in this book. He has this friend named Hitler, and he talks about how it's such an unusual name, and he basically says, well, let me explain to you why Hitler, when you say that name in South Africa, why it's not like in America or in other places where people are like, bro, you just said Hitler? Like, do you really know somebody named Hitler? So his response to this is this, right? Africa put the black man to work and did not properly educate him. White people don't talk to black people, so why would black people know what's going on in the white man's world? Because of that, many black people in South Africa don't really know who Hitler was. But if black South Africans could go back in time and kill one person, Cecil Rhodes would come before Hitler. If people in the Congo could go back in time, kill one person, it would be Belgium's king. If Native Americans could go back in time and kill one person, probably be Christopher Columbus or Andrew Jackson. The Nazis, so basically talks about how like the Nazis, they were different. He says they kept meticulous records. So he talks about how the Holocaust victims count because of the fact that Hitler counted the majority of the bodies. So he says 6 million people were estimated to be killed, and we're going to call it an estimate because we really don't know. 6 million people were estimated to be killed. And he said, we can all look at the number rightly and be horrified. But when you read through the history of atrocities against Africans, there are no numbers, that it's only simply guesses. He says, it is harder to be horrified by a guess. They weren't counting the black people they slaughtered. I'm not trying to argue that Hitler isn't bad, but just stuff like this is in the book that really made me just like think. Highly encourage you to read it. If you're not even a type of person that likes memoirs, because I don't feel like I am, I feel like you would enjoy this. Next book I read is The Arrangement. And y'all, I know a lot of people have talked trash about this book. I started reading this book at nighttime, actually. I think I had just got off work. I started reading it. And as soon as I got up the next morning, I started back reading it. And I actually played the audio when I woke up the next morning. This book was like a very satisfying Lifetime movie in a book. You know what I mean? Like, you can say like it's cheesy, it's not, y'all, this was some entertainment. This was some tea. This was turning on your television and just watching that Lifetime movie that is just gonna have you like page turning. This book is about a girl named Natalie. Pretty sure she's like 21 years old. She's in college. She's broke. So she meets this friend, right? And this friend of hers, she has like this nice apartment and she has all these nice things. And so Natalie's just kind of like, you live by yourself, girl. Like, I live with like whole roommates and I'm still struggling. Like, what do you got going on? So she tells her how she has everything that she has, right? You guys already know. So in a way, she kind of introduces her to the, well, no, she does. She introduces her to the world of having a sugar daddy and how like that works. So the next book I read is That Tether. This is really one of the books that like I really did not even anticipate reading this book. I just kind of was on a mood, picked it up, didn't even expect, honestly wasn't in a mood for romance. I wasn't in a mood for anything like that, but I picked this book up. It was a fun read. It was a quick read. I literally read it in like one day. Entertainment. Nigerian woman, beautiful, obviously beautiful. Her mom is always trying to set her up on dates. Her mom is always trying to get her to meet the perfect Nigerian man. She promises her father, this is not a spoiler, it's actually part of the synopsis. She promises her father, her dying father, that she will marry a Nigerian man. So it is like set in stone that she has to be with a Nigerian man. Be the typical, you know, keep the cultural thing going, even though, especially since she's in Canada and she is not in Nigeria, obviously. She basically tries to balance still being this Nigerian woman and having this form of Nigerian culture, even though she's not in Nigeria. And she just talks about the differences of losing that. So she basically meets this man, this white male. She completely falls for him, but she knows that she can't be with him because of the fact that she has to be with a Nigerian man. She says, let go of the life you've planned and accept the life that's waiting for you. And this is kind of like a repetitive thing through the book. So we will find out if she's actually able to let go of the life that's been placed in front of her, that's been planned, that's been on the set schedule, that this is what she has to do in order to keep her culture, in order to keep who she really is. And y'all, I really have this like 20% off Target sticker.